But on that note, welcome to the Things to Think About podcast, the podcast where we say the quiet part out loud because we're full of ADHD and can't even get our intro put together. But my question, are you here? Are you near? Are you a werewolf? Editor Moidy here. Do need to heavily emphasize that this episode is going to go into a direction where we talk about Native American cryptids. We mean no disrespect in any way, shape, or form to any religious practices or beliefs when it comes to cryptids. I want to make sure that I express this heavily. We will be doing a very respectful episode related to these entities, cryptids, creatures, but this is not going to be one of those episodes. Viking knows my opinion on this topic. And we've talked extensively about it in certain situations. And so, because he was leading me on, and I was feeling a bit playful when we recorded this, I make him cringe by saying a lot of misconceptions and things that cause him to freak out internally. This is for entertainment purposes in this episode only. Just want to go ahead and heavily state that ahead of time. If it is something that you are sensitive to, or you try to avoid those types of subject matters, understand there is no actual intention to, be disrespectful towards the subject matter, more so towards my co-host, because he was being a bit of a butthead, and implying that I should speak on the subject matter. He just didn't think that I'd actually take the bait. So yeah. Also, if you have any information that you'd like to provide and you're from those types of cultures, you can absolutely send me an email over at moidy@moidy.com, and I would love to have any information, as the subject matter tends to be very much so from a spoken tradition, not a documented tradition. So we'd like to cover that respectfully. So if you'd like it heard, we will do what we can to cover that, including but not limited to trying to stick within, at least from what we understand, the, kind of tradition the best that we can. So yeah, regardless, if you do not like the Mr. S, Mr. W kind of conversation, please skip this episode. Any comments that have to do with you being outraged will just be ignored, because it is not intended at all to offend you. It's mainly because my co-host is a butthead, and yeah, that's where we're at with that. So thank you very much. If you're choosing to skip this episode, the next one we will be streaming live, and then we'll have out next Monday. So thank you very much for whatever direction you choose to go with on that, and being polite in the comment sections of the respective platforms. Thank you very much. We'll see you guys in the next one. Let's get back to the video, though. This week, we're going to be talking about mystical beasts. Are they real? I don't know if I got that right, but we're going to go with that.
Pretty close. So, Moidy.
I was trying to come up with a way to say fae, but I couldn't, so I went with werewolf.
Moidy. We're going to start with something real easy.
If it's a werewolf, I already started with that. We need to move something else.
I was going to go with unicorns.
Oh.
Because I have a hot take on unicorns.
Go for it.
So,
we've had this hot take before, though.
Listen,
but go for it.
Unicorns. They're just a horse with a horn.
Oh, they're magic rainbow shits out their butts.
That's all just myths and mythos, and they'd also have silver blood, and they're horses with a horn on their head. You're gonna tell me,
and somebody's colorblind, so
you're gonna tell me that narwhals exist, but a unicorn can't?
Well, yeah, because we don't have any.
Just because we haven't seen them doesn't mean they don't exist.
Also, mermaids and narwhals kind of have the same origin, anyways, to begin
Yeah, but
with.
narwhals are real.
Yeah, and so are mermaids.
Yes. I mean, there's videos of it on TikTok, which may or may not be, turned off in a couple of days. I mean, it doesn't matter. Over on Shangsu, over on Little Red Book.
I tried to explain that to your wife what the name of that actually is, and she's like, "Yeah, a red book."
Well, it's
I'm
actually
like,
it's Little Red Note.
yeah.
And Shangshu, Ni
Which,
hao.
which, by the way, is still not the Chinese TikTok. It's just another Chinese TikTok.
Yeah.
So it's another Chinese copy of a TikTok that made a US app. The actual Chinese TikTok is we can go into this another time. We're not going to get into this. Basically,
Listen, all the Chinese unicorns.
yeah.
Unicorns are fucking real. And excuse my language on that. But you're not going to tell me that a narwhal exists. You're not going to show me videos and pictures of actual narwhals swimming in the ocean. And yes, I did say that on purpose. Yeah. But unicorns, the national animal of Scotland.
I'm part Irish, so I got no dog in that race. And you're Italian.
It doesn't matter. Oh, I'm going to slip into the accent. I got to stop. Also, werewolves. We'll go over that in a minute. But what's your mythical animal that you fully believe is actually real?
Oh. So here's the thing. I'm going to get us in trouble with that one. So we're going to keep on the concept of, let's talk about marrows, because I definitely don't want to get in trouble. There are mythical beasts that can get you in trouble. Let's not, that I fully believe exist. And I'm just not ready for the beginning of the podcast to be, fully just the comment section. I'm just not ready for that. You want to talk about marrows, though? Like, I got
talk about anything. It's the point of the podcast. Go on a rant. I'm still very angry about unicorns.
Keep going on that rant about unicorns. I am sick. I took today off work. I feel like complete garbage. I am hopped up on so many meds right now to be able to do this podcast, and they generally last about an hour and a half, which is perfect amount of time for me.
If you didn't take them about an hour ago. Do you know? Actually, I saw this one today. This is actually the reason why the idea of doing mythical animals came up. I watched was it on TikTok or it was on? I was watching something on Redbook today, and it was the reason why people have peanut allergies, and it's because if you have peanut allergies, you can't be a werewolf. And the government has bred people to have peanut allergies because you can't have a peanut allergy if the only thing that can kill a werewolf is silver. So you can't be allergic to peanuts if you're a werewolf.
Okay, as somebody with vampire fangs, like as part of my just aesthetic that exists, I was born with it. What the good great googly moogly are you going on about? How does a peanut allergy have anything to do with silver?
Because the only thing that can kill a werewolf is silver.
Uh-huh.
If people have a peanut allergy, their body transforms, yes, but it doesn't make you not allergic to peanuts. You can't be allergic to peanuts and be a werewolf.
Okay, I'm tracking with that. That's why you could just be a vampire that's allergic to peanuts then.
Yeah, but you can't be. But that's why people that they bred people with peanut allergies to stop the werewolf epidemic in the 1990s. Conspiracy theories.
Yes, but the vast majority of the population is not allergic to peanuts.
Yes, and that's why there's still werewolves.
Their plan failed. I just want to go on a note that
yes, but they're not as rampant.
They didn't go around eating people to begin with.
Werewolves, yes, they do eat people. They're just migrants and vagrants and hobos, and there's just less of those people in 2025 and 2024, and not like in the 1990s when they had to start breeding people with peanut allergies, because how many people had peanut allergies before the 1990s?
Still the same number of people.
There is way more.
We just found out about it more often. And that's that concept where it's like the world has gone to hell. No. The world has created things like Twitter and Blue Sky and Facebook and YouTube. So you're able to find out about it more often now, because the petty little stupid garbage that could possibly attract your attention is thrown out there millions of times a day. So that's why the world's gone to shit.
Listen, the FBI had an open file up until about 2 years ago about Bigfoot.
Yes.
All because they got a hair sample of Bigfoot. I mean, it happened to be deer, but Bigfoot. And on top of that, listen, one of the other topics that we were supposed to talk about eventually, I just realized kind of works into all of this, and I have to find it on the list. The Forestry Service was created to keep people out of certain areas of national parks. Why? Because that's where the mythical creatures are living. People disappear around those cave systems that are protected. It's all a conspiracy, man.
No, here's the conspiracy. You're literally feeding directly into the thing that I want to talk about, but I'm trying to avoid by saying that.
It's a conspiracy, man. I'm telling you. Mythical
the
creatures.
Only conspiracy is how you didn't keep being a pothead.
Because I don't need it. I don't need it. My mind works amazingly.
God bless it. Last week we had other issues. This week we have these issues.
And werewolves need to eat hearts to survive. They have to bite people in order to turn them. And they need to eat hearts in order to live. Unicorns are real. You can't have a national creature, a national animal that doesn't actually exist. Mermaids are swimming in the oceans. Narwhals exist. Therefore, unicorns exist. That's what this episode's about. The conspiracy. The conspiracy of keeping today's people out of the loop of the mythical creatures.
So anyways, Wendigo. Wendigo is the thing that I fully... Yeah,
we don't say those words.
Thing that is the thing that I fully believe exists.
Oh, definitely. Again, The National Forestry Service keeps people out of
He,
certain areas.
he was feeding me into it because he knows exactly my thoughts on that.
I had to pull
Good.
it up.
He's got the thing I was gonna read.
I had to pull it up because I need to make sure that they are put correctly, so I'm not offending. So I'm not offending everybody because I in my head I couldn't pull the words out, so I had to pull them up on screen so I can see them. Mr. S are witches from the Navajo mythology,
Yes.
where Mr. W are humans that are overpowered by greed and
Yes.
cannibalism, specifically in the Appalachian area. So I needed to pull that up so I was not getting them confused. Now the thing is the thing is with the
Real quick, I'm gonna cut you off. The reason why it's very specific, and there actually are people like trolling aside, right? Me just kind of trolling to piss him off, just because I want to make him cringe. Trolling aside, right? There is a significance in that because there's also religious and spiritual connotations that go into it. So we do want to actually be respectful, especially when it comes down to that Navajo side. And between Mr. S and then the greed and whatnot that happens and that whole concept for Mr. W in the Appalachian side of it, because that also comes down to cultural and spiritual and religious perspectives from Native Americans that started off in both sides of it. So this is so trying to be respectful on that. Any disrespect was actually just to cause him to cringe. So yeah, and now because he was leading me towards that, because he's a jerk like that, now I'm making him do it. I actually had the same things pulled up though.
but yeah, I just needed to pull them up and because I'm just gonna say it. I know it's disrespectful because they don't but skinwalkers uh are able to shapeshift. Because
Yes.
in it was specifically into the creature that that witch dawned upon themselves. So if it was a deer, they can shapeshift into deers, and which is what people usually don't realize, that there is a difference between these, because um from what I remember reading into, and I'm not claiming to know everything, because I this is just something that I love looking into, and not for the fact of going to look for them, but they shapeshift into the creatures that they adorned upon themselves. So if a witch adorned, the wolf's pelt, they would turn into a wolf, and things like that. Um, where the Wendigos don't necessarily shapeshift. Um, they kind of grow and decay because they rot. They rot and are forever hungry. Basically, without being disrespectful to them, they're zombies. They're zombies with a purpose. Where like regular zombies are just mindful, just straight attack. Wendigos are more so calculated. They still have more human predator mentality, where like a zombie would just be what's the word I'm looking for? Um Crap, I can't think of the word. Animalistic.
There's another creature that like steals like sheep and
Oh,
stuff like that. Shoot, brain.
Chupacabra.
There we go. So I found out about the chupacabra, and then I kind of researched into that for like a day, and then I got stuck into walkers and wendigos, and I think that's one of those episodes where we want to eventually do like a deep dive. I want to be respectful At the same time, it's, at least in my mind, no different than talking about a kappa or talking about, Hercules, right? So, you can send all of the hate that comes from stuff like that to moidy@moidy.com. I will absolutely read your email.
And listen, honestly, if we said something wrong about either one of those things and you're offended by it,
Shoot me an email. Yeah.
either one of us,
Yeah.
shoot me a message. I don't mean to be disrespectful. Educate me. Don't get mad. Educate me.
We would love to cover the topic because there's people that are in like this type of space. I am so sorry today, guys, with my nose, and this is gonna make editing hell. But there are people that are in our creator space that want to talk about this subject, and I've had conversations with them. I don't know if Zombie has had conversations with them, but I've had conversations with them. Like, there's no way in hell that I'm touching skinwalkers, Wendigos, or Mothman. It's like, I'm going to touch them. I'm okay with touching it.
I'm
I'm
completely
going to touch
fine
it,
with touching
though,
it.
respectful.
Listen, Mothman.
Let's get into Mothman. Real quick.
Mothman. Okay. Fuck that motherfucker.
Appalachia again. Appalachia again.
Along with the fucking Jersey Devil.
Oh, yeah.
All right. But again, those are just names for creatures that we've come across. Now,
I think in a lot of situations, okay, so like Mothman or something like that, I think there's a lot of mythical creatures that are just us misidentifying a creature acting in its own behavior, right? So similar to the concept with a mimic. So let's go into the concept of a mimic, right? We play video games here. Specifically on my channel, we play video games. And Phasmophobia is one of those games. Identifying a mimic over the top of a Goryo, or, kind of get the idea. Because I can't remember what the mimic can pretend to be. I know demon, a Goryo, a spirit, something else. There's a few. So, what you got?
Listen. No, continue talking because I'm gonna show some pictures over on my screen in a minute when you're done.
Are you able to share them into here at all?
I'm gonna just kind of drag them over onto my screen. I don't know how to share them through the Discord a certain way.
But I fully believe that we're misidentifying things like as an example, a Wendigo, and we're calling it the Mothman because, some idiot saw it in the wrong angle in moonlight, and then it jumped off of, a mountain and went after something, and it looked like it was flying, and it called it a Mothman, and then people had the same UFO effect. But I could be... Oh, my sinuses. Anyways, I just heard stuff inside my head, and it was my own head. I think that there's a lot of opportunity for that. Now, am I the one that is here to debunk it and be like, obviously the Mothman is a kappa from Japan? No.
Okay, no. This is so.
Okay,
so
what you got?
I got these pictures, right? They're artist impressions of.
Can you
of
send them in Discord so I can pull them up?
Just
because I'd like to be able to provide that to my side of the stream.
Copy image, I can. Let's click over here, paste. Does it send? Okay,
Okay.
That one's kind of eh. So the first one we're gonna pull up is, because I'm just gonna pull them over from.
Here's Jersey Devil. Okay, here we go.
So the Jersey Devil. All right, we're gonna look at this over here. I'm gonna pull this up right here. Covering my face. I can't.
I'm just gonna full screen it. Okay, there we go.
Here's the Jersey Devil, right? And a nice little look at that. I'm gonna then drag over Mr. Mothman here and cover your face with it, so I have both sides of my screen. All right. Now,
do you have the Mothman for me as well?
I sent it in the.
Am I just stupid and I just missed it? Oh,
Yeah,
hey, I'm stupid and I just missed it.
Now here's the thing.
Browser.
Here's the thing that I believe.
Yeah. Give me a
They're
second.
now if you look at them,
Huh.
right?
They look rather identical.
They look really similar. Why can't one be during the summer and one be during the winter?
Ooh,
Why
that's
can't
an
they
idea.
why can't they be the same exact creature? Yeah. They're only seen at night.
Huh.
So why are why are we saying that they're different creatures? They could be the same creature. Obviously during the summer,
Sheds off all of its fur
yeah,
fur in the summer, and it goes skinless or furless.
yeah. Now, because they're the same thing. Not I'm not saying that they are definitely the same thing. What I'm saying is they're from the same area. One's from Jersey, one's Pennsylvania, still Appalachian area. What's
I
saying
yeah.
that they're both not the same creature at different times of the year? Just like I'm going to close these out because I don't need them anymore.
I will
They
join you in closing these.
just
There.
like, you know, dogs shed hair. Other animals, bears, they shed hair. They get fluffier during the winter and they lose that hair during the summer.
Yeah, I can see that.
You can't tell me when they're that similar in style. And yes, one of those pictures is an artist's depiction of what the Mothman looks like, and one's a drawing done by somebody in 1909. Again, it's an artist's depiction of what they were explained to be. Somebody explained to see. Now, when you're terrified of something, you're not going to sit there and study it. You're not going to check every inch of it to make sure you know exactly what it looks like. You're going to run the fuck away. Guess what you're not going to do? You're not going to be looking at it for very long.
Yeah. No, absolutely not.
So, I think that they are the same creature. They might migrate a little bit. They stay in the forests. You know, they don't want to deal with us.
I
We,
wish this disease would migrate out of my nostrils. I keep.
but there's a hibernation and a non-hibernation. And that's my hot take on it.
One thing specific, I went to go take a look at r/mythology specifically for that conversation. For those of us that are not from those cultures, and it talks about going and taking a look at r/Native America or r/Indian country. In traditional culture, you were allowed to tell stories about dangerous spirits in protected sacred places or during winter. For whatever reason, it was believed that the world was being frozen over, impaired the ability for them to hear you speak of them. So, just kind of somebody that was going over and I was reading, just kind of reading into it because it's like, I wonder if there's some type of context I could provide to it because very much so it's like kind of like a restricted thing to talk about. So in that situation, when we do cover that, we'll actually come up with a name specifically for it to try and be respectful. But this has everything to do with, I'll actually go ahead and post this in the chat on my end of it. Just because I thought this was rather, oh, for the love of Pete. The other thing,
What did you just throw?
my vape across my keyboard. And I almost signed out. It asked if I wanted to,
Not
if I
even
was
good.
sure I wanted to sign out, and I'm like, neat. Sorry, trying to get signed in on OBS so where I can actually do stuff. What's another set of creatures that you would have to think about, like
Oh,
as far as
just
like
like I said, Sasquatch and the Yeti.
you're really just stuck when it comes to Sasquatch and the Yeti?
They're the same creature.
No, not
What would you,
necessarily same creature, but just in the context of like, oh, it sent it over to my 6A. Okay,
oh, like
okay,
mythical creatures in general?
mythical creatures.
Elves.
Yeah.
Elves. Elves are real. There
Yeah,
was
no,
there
no,
was
yeah, that
there was
checks
a
out.
doctor that was studying mythical creatures that disappeared in Northern Ireland, I believe it was,
Yeah.
for 5 years. And when they found her, she was speaking gibberish and naked.
Yeah, that checks out.
Now, do I have that information up here right now? No. I would have to I'd have to search for it again, but I read about this 6, 7 years ago.
I mean, in a lot of the mythology stuff, me and Viking are extremely busy when it comes to life. So a lot of the stuff that is that a stray hair that's just sticking?
Yes.
Oh no, okay, gotcha. It's just a stray. I didn't know if I missed when I was buzzing my head. Zombie and I rather busy. A lot of stuff that we go through is like stuff that's like SCP Foundation or things like that. In which case, if you really wanted to know, like that is still a level of mythology. It's just more modern mythology.
Listen, one of my big
In which
things.
case, there is a toaster that I would love to have.
Listen, there are things on there that make you go, I know somebody wrote this, but is it fiction? Hmm. Did somebody live
Well, I
through
mean,
this?
Atlantis itself, that itself is mythology. And
And
yet
I mean, and we are pretty sure we found it in the middle of the
Bahamas.
no, no,
Oh, is there a new
no.
update that I wasn't aware of?
It's I believe it's in the Sahara Desert, and it didn't sink. It dried out. Um,
Try it out. Kind of goes against the.
I'm sorry. Um
You're fine.
here it is. Rick Ricket the Ricket structure in the Morianta.
Can you send me the
Yeah,
link?
I'm looking for. I right now it's just it's a location hypothesis. Um, it's this is just the wiki. Um, I'm gonna grab the picture. Copy image. I'm gonna send it over here. Paste. That's the image. Um, and then I'm gonna send you the little blurb that is with it. Um, Copy. So Discord. That's the blurb that's with it. That's for you to read there. Um, so we're gonna grab this and just bring this over here. I'm gonna cover myself. They believe that that is where is what that it's again a hypothesis that this right here was Atlantis. And it dried out. Now, um, it's
The wait.
buried under that.
Okay, so the Ricket structure in Montana has been proposed as a site of Atlantis 56. This structure is generally considered to be a deeply eroded domal structure with a that overlies a still buried alkaline.
Indigenous.
What? Ingenus?
It's a type of rock.
So my
So
brain is saying that's the wrong way to pronounce that. But we'll go with it. Ingenus intrusion from 1974 onward. Prehistoric artifacts of the era were mapped,
I just
finding the absence of prehistoric artifacts or Paleolithic or Neolithic stone tools from the structure innermost depressions. Neither recognized modern deposits nor man-made structures were found in the area, thus concluding that the area was used only for a short-term hunting and stone tool manufacturing during prehistoric times. Is this an artist rendering, or is that a?
if we just take a
It breaks my brain staring at it because like
copy and we're just
it
gonna.
looks like art.
So I believe it is an artist rendering. No. Here is copy image, a aerial photo. This actually might be. This one looks
Your
more.
mic is really quiet because you're
Sorry,
not.
sorry. I've been trying to keep my hand on it to make sure it moves with me. Copy image. Uh, maximize. Paste. So that is an aerial photo.
Open in
Of the
browser.
structure.
Why does it not want to open in browser on one that I'm not currently using? Okay. Huh.
So, um,
So they're saying that they don't have any man-made tools, but there's actual structures that are there that would have been man-made, and there's no signs of any evidence that things that should exist if it was just an organic thing that had been
yeah.
there. Okay.
So the other thing is they're perfect rings. The only way you get perfect rings is by being man-made.
Yeah, because there's no straight lines in nature. There's also no perfect like circles. Like this doesn't happen. Naturally, the planet does this in the back, right? Where it's like these jagged kind of.
Yeah. Or the closest thing you're going to get towards an actual circle in nature is more like a Fibonacci curve.
Yeah, or you're doing something like shellfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Huh.
So now imagine all of those raised up areas. In between those are all waterways around the city.
I'm tracking with you on that. I'm tracking with you on that. I can see that being the case.
So I believe, I mean, it might not be Atlantis, but it could be.
So I always go about things with an air of skepticism. Purely because I think that that's intelligent to do is to question everything. I would say that the likelihood that it is Atlantis is probably nothing. It was a story told by Homer and to entertain the masses, and it has entertained many masses for much longer than what it was ever intended to
Oh,
entertain. Would I really like it to be Atlantis? Yeah, it'd be cool.
I keep
Be kind of
losing
cool.
you. I keep losing your mic on my side.
You keep losing my mic?
Yeah, you just keep going quiet for a second.
Huh.
You're fine now. I don't know why.
Okay. Gotcha. Oh, my bit rate dropped.
But
Anyways, would I like it to be Atlantis? Yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be really cool. It'd be core. It'd be
Sure.
really cool if it was. But yeah, unfortunately, not necessarily gonna be the case. All right. As far as on my end of it, I would say the only. Do I want to have a second hot take inside
Yes.
of one episode?
Yes, you do. You do want to have a second hot take. You want all of the hot takes. Because that makes it fun. Or is this one of those things that are going to make me go, like, off the walls? Yeah, you know what? Do it anyway. Do it anyway.
Your indecisiveness doesn't help me right now.
No. Definitely do it. Do it. There's no indecisiveness. Do it.
Just-
Vampires tell
Just,
us
I'm
that
debating here.
Vampires tell us that we can't have garlic because garlic is a vasodilator, which makes our blood flow easier. So they tell us to, they're basically seasoning us.
Don't ask the guy that has natural vampire fangs. All right. I'm going to say ahead of time, pardon my language, and I'm sorry to myself for having to come up with some creative way to, like, censor this, but fuck Nessie. Fuck Nessie. The Loch Ness Monster is the single most idiotic thing I have ever heard of. And listen, if we go through the woods to try and find Sasquatch, right, or Bigfoot, like, there's an opportunity there. There's a chance, right? But the Loch Ness Monster is the dumbest thing. I'm sorry, but Ireland, right? Okay, let's have a conversation real quick, Irish people. There are a lot of great, like, mythology type things that have happened in the Irish countryside. A lake that has a small little port to leave, that somehow this giant freaking creature lifts its head out. You can see its back and it stands 5, humans tall. But then it just disappears when we get sonar. Like, I'm sorry. There's no holes. There's no underground caverns. There's no underwater caves that you can spelunk into. And this giant dinosaur doesn't just dis-a-freaking-peer. And the lake will actually dry out a bit to where the waterway that goes into the ocean disappears. They swear that people see the Loch Ness Monster. They go out, they send divers. You can't see squat because it's a dirty freaking lake. But then on top of that, we go through with sonar, with multiple boats trying to find this. We're spending thousands of dollars an hour trying to figure out where the hell this damn thing is, and it doesn't exist. What do you got?
I mean, it could be a breeding ground.
Fuck off with that. Fuck off with that so much.
Loch Ness is so close to the North Sea. They can come in, breed, and then leave. And what we're actually seeing...
What's their breeding time? It's obviously the breeding time is shorter than my ability to breed time.
It doesn't need to be that long. It might look like a reptile, but it's still an aquatic. It probably lays eggs, and a male comes by and fertilizes them, and they leave, like most fish.
Yeah, but you don't have a situation where you can't find a freaking shark.
There's times that we lose sharks with trackers.
But I mean, how many people are looking for Nessie?
And then show up tens of thousands of miles away.
Listen, we have a lot of options here. Okay, we have over 15. We have leprechauns, right? Which totally exist. They're just regular human beings. They walk among us. We have the Balor. We have, I'm going to go off the ones that I know off the top of my head. We have Banshee. We have Firgoda. We have the Kelpie. We have Moreau. And I know there's one other one I know. We have fairies, obviously.
Oh yeah, that's not even a question.
We have the Dergadoo. And I know there's got to be one other one that I actually know. I've never heard of the Polka. I gotta look into that. And then we have Changeling. There we go. I was trying to find it on the list. I'm like, there's one more, and I'm missing it, and I can't remember the name. We have the Changeling. Nessie? Nessie. That's the one that everybody knows.
The only thing I'm gonna say about Nessie is because yes, it is really hard to believe that it's there. I don't think that it's so I'm looking at Loch Ness right now. And I'm like, okay, well, which way would be better? Because it could either come in from, you know, Ireland side, or the North Sea side. North Sea side would come through Moray Firth. I don't think I think I think Loch Ness is more of a breeding ground, not a home. There is more ocean. I think we've only traversed like what 5%, 10%,
12% or
of
something
the
like that.
the Earth's ocean. Like, as far as the Ness itself, I'll give you that. Could people have seen it on its way out of Loch Ness or on its way in to Loch Ness? I don't think they stay in Loch Ness. I think it's a place for them to lay eggs
It's a
and
giant
live.
fucking squid.
I don't think Loch Ness is actually where Nessie lives. I think Nessie is hanging out with narwhals in the North Sea and, you know, swimming through the ocean. If Nessie is a thing, I don't think it lives in Loch Ness.
It's just the thing. It's more on this concept. The hot take concept comes in when it comes down to Nessie. Like, it's the most, like, out of all the mythology that exists. Why is that the most common thing that we care about? Is a stinking fish that disappears and we can't find it, but oh, there it is.
Again, also
And we have like
also not Ireland.
Bowler.
Also not Ireland, Scotland.
Is it not Irish?
Loch Ness is in Scotland.
Oh, it's in Scotland. Okay, now I need to look into it because I always thought it was Irish.
Nope, it's Scottish.
Okay.
Although there is a lake in Ireland called Loch Ness.
Maybe that's where I'm getting it confused from originally.
Loch Ness is it's near Uquart Castle.
This is gonna be my stupid. Okay, fine. There you go. Here we go.
And it is closely like River Ness goes from the Moray Firth, which is directly connected to the North Sea, and just the small river goes in, and it continues all the way through to Loch Orrick and Loch Lornche. I mean, it's just a bunch of locks. I don't think that they live there.
Great. So we're moving back over to this portion. Okay, so we have the brownie, we have the Kelpie, we have the blue men of Minnick or Minch or Mince. Let's see, what's the other ones? We have the Wolver. We have the Beether. Bathyr. I've heard. I'm just going with the ones that I recognize the name off of. All of these are better options than freaking Nessie. Minus the fact that I had the damn country wrong, and I'm gonna jump up and down about it. There are better options than a freaking fish that does nothing. Here. Was a shapeshifter who roamed the old pass in the Isles of Ski. Let's see. A very dangerous female vampire who hunted the highland regions. Right? Here we go. I know this name. Let me see if I can find it here. Here we go. Because I heard a creepypasta on name. That's why I recognize this one.
Okay. Before you bring that up,
Okay.
dragons.
Oh, they exist.
I also think
They still to this day exist.
I think that the T-Rex didn't exist.
There's not enough information that shows that the T-Rex actually existed. The specimens are too far apart from each other.
And the little arms aren't arms. They're wings.
Yeah, I would agree. That one's not even a hot take. My biggest hot take is getting Irish in Scotland.
No.
Completely wrong.
I think Nessie is actually just the sea serpent.
Yeah, that I could see. That I could see. Sea serpents exist.
That's all I think. I think Loch Ness is a breeding ground for sea serpents.
But a sea serpent isn't crazy. You want to know why? Because it doesn't take down our damn ships anymore.
Well, that's that and the Kraken. They don't touch our ships because they make noise now. They vibrate at a different frequency. They vibrate. Period.
Yeah.
They don't want to touch them because they use sonar to hunt and do things.
Yeah.
When you're creating sonar, something with a high,
Even the engine running creates sonar. Yeah.
like it's
So then they know it's not.
Yeah, they know it's not
something
food.
that's food.
That's why they don't get attacked anymore.
Yeah. Like even the like if you have like the sail ships, right? People will take a sail ship across the ocean. We've got so much technology that's inside of it. Animals see the world in a completely different way than what we do. So yeah. Orcs. Orcs are real, and they are horribly overblown and misused inside of mythology. No statement there.
No statement there on that one.
Yeah. But okay. So back into my original freaking point that I was gonna go with, even though I had the damn country wrong. Balor or Balar, right, was a giant king and god in Irish mythology who ruled with an iron fist, and anything he gazed his eye on would be destroyed. How is that not something that's more commonly used?
Yeah.
And as far as modern mythology, Marvel is overblown.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just we bastardized the love of anything in our modern mythology has been replayed over and over again and taken away from its original intention so heavily that it's not even worth telling the stories right now. Example being, look at what they did to Ghost Rider.
But
They put Nick Cage as Ghost Rider first off, but Ghost Rider is a fantastic fantastic comic book. I loved it as a kid. I was excited when they were making a movie because they were doing such a good job with the other freaking movies, right? Then they put out Ghost Rider. And I was heartbroken.
Listen, I'm gonna give you something right here.
Can you get
right
closer
now.
to the mic? That would be a great thing to.
I'm gonna give you something right here, right now. It's gonna be my final argument. Okay?
Okay, okay.
The platypus. Tell me mythical creatures don't exist, and then explain to me the platypus without using mythical creatures. That's it. That's my ending argument. The platypus.
Okay. Here is my answer to explaining the platypus, because I actually do have an answer for you here, sir.
Well, on that note, do you ever think about the things you think about?
Hey, that's the name of the podcast.